we're probably. Welcome into the live stream here for McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. Neal and Tyler, we're here with you. A couple minutes early, actually, today. We're a few minutes late the other day, so I guess I'm trying to even it out subconsciously.
Love it.
Feeling good?
I got some juice today.
Yeah, you're on painkillers and rain. It's interesting.
Yeah, and Miller Lite, does that count?
Yeah.
Does that count?
That does count.
Yeah.
Getting your day.
It's medically,
getting your day started.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is going to be the day. This is kind of like Christmas Day for me. I'm excited. Like last week was cool. Last week was kind of like Christmas Eve when you get to open one gift.
That's what I was just thinking about.
Yeah. So Thursday, it's every year. Even when I coached, I tried to get home early. On Thursday you get to go home early, so I rushed and I love it, man. We got a couple of SEC games, got a couple of games to bet on tonight, and let's ride.
Hey, in the stream, if you guys can give me a little feedback, is our audio okay? I had to turn it down a little bit to tape Mind on My Money a little bit earlier because Martin's headphones were super juiced, so I had to turn down a little bit.
Did you dip them in rain before you started?
I did. I went down to Jackson. I took his headphones and I dipped them in a vat of rain, and then I came back here.
I love it.
It's a day. We're getting stuff done though. About my assistant, my production assistant, MPW production assistant in Fayetteville has been loading things for me. We got Butcher versus Spin instructor coming later today on the stream. Got the Pete DeWeese Pete's Pigskin preview coming later on. Taped it yesterday.
Yeah.
Taped with Taylor Zarza.
I enjoy those as a coaching geek.
Yeah, yeah. This one was the first one he didn't have any film or anything because Troy
I was going to ask you what he did.
Yeah, we just talked.
I got you.
Yeah, it was good though. We talked football.
I know what they're going to do.
Troy? Yeah, I know you do. I know you do.
Better not say that. See, I snuck that in before the audio started just in case.
Yeah, in case, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got all that going on. Talked to Taylor Zarza yesterday. So that's going to be on Hand Raise Guys tonight.
I coached his brother at St. Paul's.
Grant?
Gaines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grant was a little older. He was actually going out, I think, when I got there. But yeah, I know the Zarza family. They're great people.
They're great people. Taylor's dad passed away a few years ago. Yeah. I went down for the funeral. Taylor's one of my best friends when I was down there. He got me into radio. He called me.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not.
I was covering Auburn as beat writer, and I would do a gazillion shows on WNSP. Lee Cervanian, can you come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Lee.
And so, I'd be like, yeah. I mean, they kind of served as my wake-up call when I was on the beat.
Okay.
Because I knew I needed to get up and let's go, but sometimes you're working late and you just want to sleep. And so I would do the 7:05 segment.
Well, yeah, at least you got that.
Lee would be like, do you want me to call and remind you? I'm like, no, I do not. I want you to call me at 7:00 and I'll wake up and I'll splash my head with something and then I'll do your segment and then I'll get up and go. And so that's what I did. They were my wake-up call. Anyway, Taylor called. I'll never forget. It was March of 2000.
Yeah.
No, is that right? 2000. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. He called and he said, "Do you want to be a co-host?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it was March of 2001. He said, "You want to be a co-host?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Every afternoon." And I was like, "Yeah," not thinking what this is going to mean.
And now you're doing 97 hours of podcasting.
Yeah, and they offered just next to no money, but I took it because I was like, if I'm ever going to diversify a little bit, I need to do this. And so I did it, and I would take equipment on the road to Auburn, and it was you talk about learn time management. I learned time management when I was doing 3 hours of radio every day.
I don't know. Like Lee would always call me when I would do the show, and I did the show. I don't know. I've done it a long time. But he always wants me to do like anyway, you can get on for the 5:45 a.m. segment. I'm like, dude.
No.
I'm like, no. I mean, what about any time that people are listening or I'm awake, one or the other? Like he never wanted to call me normal. I never did a segment in normal hours. Probably because he's just trying to do his job and nobody's going to listen to what the hell I had to say anyway.
Yeah, he would do all sorts of stuff. All right, we're going to get the show started. Appreciate everybody hanging with us. Glad to have everybody in the stream. It's football weekend.
Oh.
We got some football picks. I'm still trying to. I'm down to, just so you know, and we'll talk about this on the show. Right. I'm down to 9 games. I got to pick 5, and I got to pick 5, and I know my money line game, even though I don't necessarily know the money line, but I know which.
I can look it up.
I know the dog I'm taking to win.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Okay,
whenever you say it.
All right, we're gonna get rolling here in a second. Thanks to everybody again, and thanks for your patience, and we'll get going. Welcome into episode number 13.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready.
I don't need 45 minutes a day.
That's Tyler Siskey, who's got all sorts of stuff coursing through his veins. We'll be with you for the next, hour and change or whatnot. Tyler, very disappointed after yesterday. Tottenham let an opportunity to get a big win get away. They got a draw with West Ham.
Is that water polo?
It was water polo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's water polo. It's soccer. English Premier League. So we're brought to you by Rain. I'll tell you this. I'm wearing this is a football shirt.
I do.
Do you know that already?
That's an Army shirt.
This is my guy, Coach Nuke, Frank Nicaro.
Yeah.
Frank's my friend, my buddy. Frank sent me this as he says, get ready for Army Coastal Carolina with these team-issued shirts from the Army-Navy game from last year, the Wolfhounds who fought in Korea. So
that's awesome.
I've got like personal connections in Army Coastal Carolina. Michael Benson, the chancellor at Coastal Carolina, is a really good friend of mine. And then Frank at Army.
How about
but
that?
Michael's not sending me any Coastal Carolina gear, and so I guess I'm for Army.
And Jeff represents Grayson McCall, the quarterback there.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. We'll talk about Jeff in a little bit.
Oh, is Man U playing right now? Is that on Peacock, Weldon? If it is, I'll turn that on so that Tyler can make sure he sees this.
I love you and all, but God dang, dude, you're killing me. We don't do this. Soccer even allowed today? This is a national holiday.
Yeah. In fact, Saturday is going to be a great day because Tottenham plays at 10 a.m.
If you watch soccer on Saturday, we got to get you checked out.
I'm going to watch the first part of it.
Come on, man.
I'm not watching that stupid game day show. No offense. It's bad. I mean, I know it was at one point a great show, but what they're allowing.
I just listen to the song and have it on the background as I cook breakfast and start drinking beer.
What I don't like, the Lee Corso thing is, it's time to let him go. It is. It's time to, and maybe they just don't want to. Maybe he doesn't want to. Whatever. But
they're just holding that seat for Nick.
Well, they better hustle. Oh, it's on USA. It's even better. How about that? All right.
That ought to tell you everything you want to know. It's on USA. It's kind of like my wife hit me with that the other day.
Kind of like the World Series on TBS? Is that what you're saying?
Well, she's saying NASCAR's on USA now, so that ought to tell you everything you need to know about NASCAR. So,
you know, my friend Tommy Prater, who you know.
Yeah,
Tommy
Moose.
Yeah, Tommy will tell you.
Was on that football team.
Tommy will tell you that NASCAR's mistake was years ago worrying about the big screen and not about the little screen.
Oh.
This screen. He'll tell you that's where NASCAR made their big mistake when they had opportunity.
They said Ed Orgeron should replace Corso. That'd be great. I'd watch that.
All right, so we got some Premier League soccer going for Tyler now. He's ready to go. Let's see. For the first time, I'm going to try the Reign Inferno Red Dragon.
All right, so Bob, good gracious.
Made a splash and everything.
Just short-circuited your board over here.
Hopefully we're all right.
All right, so Bob has got you cracked out a little bit today since you got a long day. How good is that, though?
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's the best tasting stuff ever, isn't it? That's my new favorite.
It is like it's like a Hawaiian punch without the sweetness.
Okay. I can see that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is the one I said tasted like cherry the other day.
So you know how when you drink a Hawaiian punch, and I haven't had a Hawaiian punch in a long time, but if you drink a Hawaiian punch, this is smack with sugar.
Right.
This tastes like Hawaiian punch, but without that, which is great.
And the cool part is it has citrulline in it, and that speeds up your metabolism, which I need all the help I can get.
Well, I do too.
So I knew you would like that.
Because Siri's been yelling at me this week, your steps are down. Your steps are down. You're not walking as much. And I'm like, I know, Siri, I'm doing 4,000 podcasts.
Yeah, you need some help today. We're going to get you some juiced up. We're going to make some money. I'm fired up today. Ready to go. Grind, what we got tonight, man? Who you rolling with? I think only like 2 games tonight. We'll talk about all that. I'm with you. I got like 13 games that I'm going to bet on this weekend.
Okay.
I like 13 games, so I've narrowed it down to my my final 5. I'm having a tough time with my 5th favorite one, so I'll figure it out before we get started.
Jerry Duke says Houston Nutt could take Corso's role. Who says no? I suspect ESPN says no. And, it would be interesting. I actually need to reach out to Houston and see if he'd come on the show. He might do it because I think the grudge is probably over by now. I never had a grudge. He didn't like me. He said I was bad for the program.
You think everybody doesn't like you, though?
Houston said that.
Oh, he said it to you?
He said it out loud, yeah,
okay.
at a club, and it got back to me.
His brother was the basketball coach at Arkansas State when we were there.
Dickey, he's now an assistant at Missouri.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
All right, this is brought to you by our friends at Reign Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Reign Body Fuel to learn more. I'll tell you about Houston. I took the Ole Miss beat job I took it like in January of 2008. I didn't start until March because I wanted to finish, my obligations in Mobile, and I didn't want to leave too soon because Laura and the kids were going to still be there until the end of the school year because Campbell was in the first grade. And looking back, she could have finished the first grade up here. It would have been fine, but we didn't want to do that to her at the time. So whatever. Looking back, that was really stupid, right? To risk, it was kind of dumb.
I've been on both. I've done both. After, and ironically, it was when we came here from Arkansas State. When we moved here, I left. Aaron and the boys stayed in Jonesboro, and it was just 2 hours away now. And we were getting a house finished or whatever, and so we got into our house here August the 1st. And so I spent, myself and Corey Batoon, we lived together. We stayed in a condo, a booster condo, basically, and waited till the kids finished out school and all that stuff. That was the hardest 8 months of my life. That was so, you get in a routine with your kids and your family and just leaving them behind. And soon as that happened, I remember telling my wife, that was 2012, I guess, yeah, somewhere in 2012. I told her never again. So from that point forward, whenever we moved, when one left, we all left. And so we went to Tuscaloosa, we all left to go to Tuscaloosa. We went to Mobile, we all left in the middle of the year and just started the kids. And it really, as the kids have gotten older, helped a little bit because they were able to meet a couple of friends and stuff before the summer started.
Right.
And they were getting at that age. But yeah, I'm on no soldier left behind. That's the model I'm in right now.
Yeah, I didn't handle it well, but I came up. I was covering a basketball game up here. I guess Alabama or Auburn were playing up here, and so I made an appointment to go in and see Houston, just to say hello. I'm gonna be covering you and stuff.
It went bad on day one.
Went terrible. I walked into his office. We were talking for a minute, but almost right away he goes, "You had a radio show in Mobile, didn't you?" And I went, "Yeah." And he had remember that when he got in trouble at the Cotton Bowl with all the texting with the girl, the TV anchor? Remember that?
I don't remember that.
It was like hundreds and hundreds of texts, and people were coming after him, and they'd
There's been some things since then.
Yeah, there have. They'd FOIA'd his phone and all that stuff. And we, joked about that on the radio because that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was on that, and then he knew that I had been critical of Orgeron at Ole Miss because at the time he was replacing Ed.
Right.
And, that was a disaster. And I was critical of it in Mobile. And so it had gotten back to him that I was out to get and all that stuff. And yeah, he never once trusted me.
Day one.
Good
start.
I had multiple coaches that had either left during that time, during his, coaches were maybe there for 2 years, and then it happened at the end when they were finished. I'd see some of those guys. I won't name names, but 3 different guys that were on that staff apologized to me after their tenure was over when they were still here.
Wow.
Really bizarre.
Yeah.
It was just bizarre. The whole thing was just nuts. But anyway, it's not.
It was a bizarre ending, I know, because we came into a shit show when we got here. That was that's why, because of
2011, 2011 was the single, and Jared's on the stream. And
sorry, Jared.
And
what I'm talking about.
And Jared could probably tell you 1,000 stories,
yes,
I'm sure.
He'd probably educate me.
It was just a disaster. Look at you looking up. It's Leicester City, Man U.
It's just the motion. I started getting motion sickness.
13.
I'm not doing it again.
13 minutes in.
We'll put a blinder over here. No, but that's why, all kidding aside, because of that and knowing that was the first one as a coach that I'd gone into where the coach had been fired early before the end of the season. And that's why if any athletic director is ever listening, I don't care how bad it gets. I don't care if you're 0-11. You can go ahead and start. Look, agents will talk to you. That's the biggest crock of bullshit ever is you're going to fire a coach to start your search early. You don't have to fire the coach to start a search. It never happens. Trust me, when you start losing enough games, you'll start getting those text messages if you're an AD from the agents. They'll reach out and let you know. You can start doing things, but there is no accountability on the kids. It was I don't even want to go into it, how big of a disaster it was when we got here from let's just call it an accountability sector.
Yes.
And Jared's going to know, and he's going to laugh, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But it was crazy, man. So from that reason, I don't care how bad it gets, let them finish it out.
All right, so where do you want to start? We're going to get to picks at the end.
You want to do picks at the end, or
do you want to start with picks?
Let's do picks now, because next week we're going to have the NFL in it too. So
okay,
here's what we'll do. All right. So I'll let you start it since I'm going to kind of Or do you want me to start it?
I'll tell you what. First, we're going to thank Grind for the super chat. He says these are his picks. He's got the over for West Virginia versus Pitt, the backyard brawl. He's got the over for Louisiana Tech, Missouri.
I got it.
You got those numbers?
Yeah. So we got over at 50.5. I like that. Good pick.
And he's locked in on TCU minus 10.5 on a 3-teamer.
Right. La Tech over is 16.5. It may have moved, but it's what it was this morning. 16.5.
Tech's going to score points, and they're going to give up points. I like that over.
I like that. That's a good high-scoring game.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to touch the point spread on that one. And then he's got TCU minus 10. Grind, you're going to win, dude. I think TCU is going to run them out of the building. We'll talk about Thursday games here in a minute. But no, what I'll say is we'll start. We'll go. I can start or you'll start. We'll do our 5 and then our 1. And then I'll kind of lock those in and for the competition. And you'll lock yours in, and then let's talk about some games like that are going on tonight that I'm going to bet on that just aren't in my 5, because I don't want to be holding out because sometimes I say I'll suck at this, but I'll end up winning for the weekend because of my other bets. So hopefully I'll pick the right 5 this week. All right, you want me to start it or you want to start it?
I'm gonna let you start because I'm trying to pick my.
I'm still trying to go.
I've got 8 but I'm not going to pick an SEC game, so I'm down to 7.
Okay.
One of the games that I really like is Arkansas minus 6.5 against Cincinnati. I like it a lot, but I'm not going to pick SEC games in this, so that's out.
All right, so I'll start mine. One of my first official 5 picks for the competition is going to be, since you brought it up, is going to be Arkansas minus 6 against Cincinnati. I think it's just going to Fayetteville. I think they got too much to replace. Have looked a lot at it. I think you're going to end up. I kind of like the under a little bit in this game, surprisingly. But
what is the over-under on
that? It is I got it right here. Give me a second. It's 52.5. It seems low, but I kind of like it for some weird reason.
I kind of like the over there, but that's real close.
Yeah, it's accurate. I think there's going to be better
Actually,
defense
you know what? I
kind of
do like the under there.
I think there's going to be better defense played in that game than people expect, but I just think
I've got in my mind, I've got 30-20.
Yeah. I can see that. I just like when you got early season games when you got offensive-minded coaches versus defensive-minded coaches. It usually is a low-scoring game. But that's what I'm rolling with. I'm going with Arkansas minus 6 for my first official pick of the season in McCready versus Siskey. Have we decided what our punishment is yet?
We have not.
All right, we'll do that then.
Okay. I'm going to go big on my first pick.
All right, what you got?
I'm going big on pick number 1 because I just believe that sometimes you just got to let it go and you just got to tell people what you're doing. Ohio State minus 17 at home against Notre Dame. I am laying the 17 points. I think the Buckeyes are that good. I think they're an offensive machine, maybe the best offense in the country, and I think they're going to roll the Irish.
Wow, you went there.
I did. I told you I'm going to go bold on pick 1. I'm going bold on pick 1.
I'm locking you in. I like it.
Ohio State minus the 17.
I went through all the numbers. I am personally not betting this game at all on myself. I just don't know, man. I think I can see Ohio State, proving a point, going out there and just beating the shit out of somebody, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I kind of like the over in this. It's at 59.5. What do you think about that? I'm not betting it. I'm just saying I did have it highlighted as a possible personal wager for the weekend.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went over.
Because I think Ohio State is going to score points.
Yeah, and Notre Dame will probably score some too.
It's just a matter of are they going to keep it within. I didn't feel comfortable with them keeping it within 17.
I've got in my mind something along the lines of 48-24.
Well, that's over then.
Yeah, I think it's an over. I think Ohio State's going to score a bunch of points.
I do too.
I do. I just.
They always seem to in these games.
They're really athletic. The super athletic teams are the ones that Notre Dame struggles with.
Yeah, and the only time that they've really, haven't.
And I love Stroud, man. I do. I love Stroud.
Yeah.
I think the sky's the limit for him.
I think it's interesting that he's got the marquee matchup on first weekend to probably extend himself into. Don't think that it's not going to get in Heisman voters' minds if he goes out there in the only primetime game, the biggest game of the week. He's going to get a jump start on those guys.
Sure,
and they're going to play.
It's human nature. I mean, everybody makes fun of Heisman voters, and I get it because it's a super.
I'm one of them.
I know, and I'm a voter, and I make fun of it.
Are you really?
Yeah, I've been a voter for a long time, but
Dude.
But the you're right though. That primetime game, like for me, right? Here's the problem being a Heisman voter. I'm going to be at Vaught Hemingway from about 1 until about, let's assume, let's say Ole Miss wins by the line. Okay, Ole Miss wins by 21 points.
Yep.
I'll have my column basically written before the end of the game. I'll have to write some notes and stuff. I'll get on Chase's show. By the time I get back, it's 8:30. I'm going to see the second half of Ohio State, Notre Dame. I'm not going to see a lot of other games. It's why it just makes it so difficult to do, really. And so, yeah, I'm going to look at what am I going to see? I'm going to see highlights. I'm going to see stat lines. And, yeah, a name's going to get in my head a little bit because I'm a human being.
Right.
And over the course of the year, I start narrowing it way too much. And it's like why Will Anderson didn't win last year. It's not because it wasn't offense, defense. It was people didn't think about him until it was too late.
Yeah. I got a question for you randomly.
All right.
This might be boring as hell to some people, but I'm just curious. When you're at a game and you're covering a game and you're writing, do you write during the timeouts or do you write as the game's going on?
As the game goes on.
So you may miss plays and stuff by writing?
If the game's getting out of control?
Well, if it's a good game.
No, I'll write during timeouts.
I got you. I was just curious. I know y'all did that. I just didn't know when they did it.
Well, here's where that comes from. Like the best story I've got is Auburn and Florida a few years ago. Remember when Auburn knocked off Florida when they were number 1?
Yes.
That game kicked off at 8:13. My deadline that night was like 10:45. The game wasn't over. You understand my point?
Oh, yeah.
So
you had to write 2 stories at the same time?
I had 3 stories.
Oh, shit.
I had a running story that I could switch. I had an Auburn wins and a Florida wins. And I had it segmented on my thing. And I would just keep rolling. That game went back and forth. Auburn won on a Damon Duval field goal at the
man.
I think with less than a minute to go.
He's a beaut.
And yeah, so at the end of that game, I mean, the biggest concern you had was, hey, did I send you the right copy? Because it's all sitting there and you're jammed and you're hustling and it's loud and you can't hear and you can't think. And
that would be fun.
Because that was an open press box. And Jordan Hare was loud that night. And,
yeah.
You know, in the aftermath of that game, because Florida was number 1 in the country going into that game. And, yeah, that was – you have to write. It's got to be done. I mean, Duval's kick is the lead, but all the other stuff that's already happened that you're kind of positioning, it's there. And then on the other side, you've got Duval not making the kick, Florida winning, and you're writing about how Auburn – had a shot and Florida escaped and blah, blah, blah. And then you've got this other story in the middle that's kind of like just paragraphs that you can move either way.
Yeah, that's – God bless you. All right.
But those days were kind of – you was like juiced now. You'd walk out – you finish one of those, you felt like about 6 of these were coursing through your veins. You had so much adrenaline pumping in those moments.
Do you know, after you drink that right there, I will be tuning in to the call-ins tonight just to see your response. We need to have a call in and get our boy to call in. What was the guy's name that had me cracking up? Sean. I got to have my man Sean call in.
We need Sean to call in.
He could be a weekly guest.
All right, so what's your second pick?
All right, number 2. I'm going to fall right into the trap. I am taking Oregon plus 17.5 against Georgia. All right, hear me out.
I'm listening.
I'm just going to do it. I think Georgia wins the game. Georgia, quick you client. I think they win the game, and I think they win it okay. But with Dan Lanning coming back to Georgia, you can't throw that away. He knows the defense. He knows that there's just like Lane knows when he plays Nick, right? You know the quick game, the RPOs and things that cause that defense problems because he was the defensive coordinator. So he's going to know what buttons to push to move the football. All right, and then 2, you got Bo Nix at quarterback at Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be intimidated. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be. He's not some just random guy that's never played in a game before. He's played in a lot of big games and a lot of big games against Georgia. So I think they score enough points to keep it close and keep it interesting. The big thing for me here is I think Georgia is going to be better on offense than they were a year ago. But at the same time, Dan Lanning goes against that every day. And so he has enough to where he knows what he needs to do to move things around to keep it a little closer than normal. And Georgia seems to come out of the gates a little slower the first games of the year. So I'm going Oregon plus 17.5. I'm falling into the trap. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's just too many points with Oregon.
All right. With the second pick, I'm staying inside the state of Oregon. I've got Oregon State covering 2.5 at home in Corvallis against Boise State.
Wow.
There you go. Oregon State.
Now, what made you like that one?
I think Boise's a little overrated.
Okay.
Oregon State's very good at home. Had a good season last year. Finished with some momentum, and I like their team. Not to do big things, but to beat Boise.
That's interesting.
2.5.
Yeah. I played with that on my money line pick, but I did not pick it. It was something that I actually looked at.
Okay, but, so we differ on this one. That's good. That's good. Differences are good sometimes.
I'm interested in that game. I'll watch. I'll have that one on. All right, pick 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. I think this is maybe my favorite pick of the day.
Okay.
I'm taking the over in the North Carolina App State game.
Oh.
All right. The over is at 55.5. Is that right? That's what I had it written down. Make sure I typed that in there correctly when I typed on this deal. Yeah, it's at 55.5. All right. If you watched last week, FAMU scored 28 on North Carolina.
They did with a depleted roster.
I would hope that App State is better on offense than FAMU. And I think North Carolina has some issues on defense, scoring. That's where their issues are. But their issues not on offense. They have an explosive offense that can score. Our boy Longo is going to throw it deep 78 times in the first quarter.
Yep.
Probably first down, second down, and third down. So he's going to take shots. He's got Josh Downs at receiver. The May kid looked really good at quarterback as a redshirt freshman. Over at 55.5, I think that's stealing. So I'm going North Carolina over 55.5 in the App State game.
All right.
Pick 3. So you're in pick 3 for you. What you got?
Pick 3 for me, I'm going with a big line.
No, you're not.
I am. I'm not picking an upset, but I'm picking a team to cover.
That's even worse. Who you got?
I got UMass covering 29.5 at Tulane. So I'm taking the Minutemen and 29.5 points because they scored some points the other day against Utah State. So they'll score against a lesser team in Tulane. And I think if they score enough, that's going to cover.
UConn played Utah State.
Oh, you're right. Let me take that back.
I was going to tell you.
Scrap.
All right, here we go. Hey, if I wasn't your friend, I would have just let you ride with that, and I wouldn't have said anything to you, and I'd just let you get a 0 on that.
It's been a week. All right, here's one. I was prepared to go Illinois +2 at Indiana. It's now up to 3, and so I'm going to take the extra point. I'm going to take the Fighting Illini +3 at Indiana.
You're going against my guys?
Your guys sucked last year.
Are you going against my man Tom Allen?
They were not good last year.
And my man Darren Hiller?
They were not good last year.
Oh, unbelievable. I mean, I'm really distraught right now.
Sorry to hurt your feelings.
No, I'm going to bet that game as well. This is not one of my 5, but I'm going to bet it personally just because my emotions involved. I'm like,
you're betting the Hoosiers?
Yeah, I'm going to bet the Hoosiers just because I ride with them and they're a Quick U client. I will bet on all my Quick U clients this week. Except, guess what we got tomorrow night? The first ever, or actually it's the second ever, but the first one of this season, Quick U versus Quick U tomorrow night on Friday night with the Michigan State Spartans and the Western Michigan Broncos. We got Quick U versus Quick U.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to be neutral on that.
I'm in all sorts of picks competitions. Troy Brown and I on the Troy Brown show, we pick MAC games every week. I mean, I feel like I'm just picking everything. So forgive me for having a brain.
Dude, I get it. That's why I brought you the Bud Heavy over there. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, pick 4. All right. I'll go to my 4th favorite one. We can talk about this game. I think we should break this game down for the next hour and a half to make your day. I'm going to the Ole Miss Troy game.
Okay.
Right?
What you got?
All right, so
I bet I know what you're about to do.
All right, so I'm betting the under at 57.5. Where I'm a dumbass is it was at 59.5 to start the week and it's dropped.
Okay.
All right. I think people are, and I can say this, people are sleeping on Troy's defense in this game. Troy's got a really good defense.
Yeah.
Arguably, in these first 4 games, maybe the best defense they play. Now, who they play? Tulsa's got a good defense.
Yeah.
That's kind of week 4, I think they're playing.
That's week 4. They've got they open with Troy, and then they play Central Arkansas at Georgia Tech, and then Tulsa.
But this, and everybody's like, well, this. Well, let's talk about the Liberty Flames, right? So Liberty goes to Troy last year. I think they have 9 or 10 starters come back on defense. And Carlton Marshall is the Mike backer who will probably break the all-time NCAA record for tackles this year.
Yeah.
From McGill-Tulane High School in Mobile, Alabama grind. Was a walk-on at Troy. But they got a great defense. And last year when they played Liberty, if it wasn't for Malik Willis, they held him to hardly nothing, and he put them on their back and basically ran them to 21, got them 21 points and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I'm trying to stay away from the spread here. I see scenarios where it could go either way. I mean, I could see Ole Miss winning 45-0, but then I could also see them winning 34-17.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it's under. And I think both defenses are going to match up well against the other offense. And when I say well, I'm talking about Troy's defenses. I don't think Ole Miss is going to be able to come up here and roll 50 points up. I don't think it's going to be one of those games.
Right. I don't. And Ole Miss with all the newness and new whoever the quarterback is, it's his first start here.
They haven't named one yet.
Everything points towards Dart, but no, they have not named one.
It'll be Dart.
Yeah.
But anyway, long story short is I just don't think that. I think there's going to be some bumps and some bruises and some mistakes, maybe a couple turnovers. I don't think Ole Miss's crazier things have happened, obviously. I don't think they're in any danger of losing the game, but I like the under at 57.5. Either way, either a Ole Miss win and it's under either way. That's pick number 4 for me. What you got?
Speaking of Tulsa, I'm taking Tulsa and laying the 6.5 on the road in Laramie.
Dude, I studied that one hard. I like that pick.
Thank you.
I really like that pick.
I think Tulsa's going to be a little better than people think. Not going to be a great team, but they're solid. And Wyoming's not good. Their quarterback play is insufficient. And it's just, I think Tulsa's going to be pretty good defensively, as you mentioned.
Yep.
I think Tulsa's going to keep Wyoming to a low number, and Tulsa's going to score enough to cover 6.5 points. I like them at Wyoming. It's not like going to Wyoming is some intimidating venue or whatnot.
The only thing that, like my man DJ Elliott, that's where he played. So he would used to tell me the hardest thing about going to Wyoming and playing is the altitude, is the elevation.
Yeah.
But you've been training in humidity this whole time down here. They'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Early in the year. But yeah, I like. I'm a big fan of that pick. I like that one. All right, I'm debating here. I still have.
And I've got 3 games that I'm staring at.
All right,
I can't decide.
I'm good on my money line. But
I have a fear that we have the same money line.
We probably do.
We've not discussed this, but I have a feeling that we do.
All right, so gosh dang it, I got these 2. All right, I'll do this in case you pick this game.
Okay.
Because I know you're not going to pick SEC games,
no,
right?
I'm going to try to stay away from SEC games.
All right. Remind me to come back to this game because I'm going to bet on it. I think it's an easy money.
Okay.
But I'm taking LSU -3
I love that.
against Florida State.
Love it.
I'm hammering it.
Love it.
One of my favorite
crush
picks,
them.
but I have another one that's good too. Look, you're in New Orleans.
I have 3 SEC games I really like, and this is one of them. I love Mississippi State minus the 16. Love it.
Yeah, I want to talk about that one before we get done.
I like Arkansas over Cincinnati as we discussed, and I love LSU minus. Oh yeah, there's like 3 points
in New Orleans
all day.
Brian Kelly's first game.
All day. I love that pick.
I think they're going to be really good. And then I
don't even know that they're going to be really good. Here's my thing about Florida State. I'm hearing too much stuff. Here's the deal. There's too much stuff about Norvell already.
Yep.
It's already percolating. It's September the 1st.
We haven't even got to Overreaction Monday yet.
It's September the 1st, and it's already percolating that, hey, this just doesn't work. It's not going to be any good. It's time to be searching, that they're already kind of putting out feelers, stuff like that. I don't have any idea if it's true. But my reporter instincts go, oh, okay.
Is that your spidey sense?
A little bit. And I'm pretty good with coaching search, Spidey sense stuff.
Can I tell you something? You are really good at it. I meant to tell you that.
It's one of my strengths.
I don't like
as a reporter.
You know what else I like about you, though? I really do, because it's the way I am, and that's why I appreciate it, is even when your Spidey sense was not good for the Cisco kid, you told me anyway.
I did.
Even when it wasn't good. Anything.
Well, you knew I was cheering for you guys.
Yeah, no, to the point. Just anything. I appreciate the honesty.
But I did. I cheered for you guys. I would tell people all the time, like, man, I wish those guys would win. I've covered teams before where I got so tired of the coaches that it was hard not to cheer against them.
But even in recruiting, like you would say, hey, look, I don't think you're getting that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd be like, how do you know? And you'd say something. I'd be like, mother, you know.
But with you guys,
I can't tell you the rest of the story. But yeah.
with you guys,
I just said that.
With you guys, it was kind of the opposite. I was like, man, I wish those guys would win. That would be such a cool story, and my job would be so much easier.
It would have been easier,
and yeah, but it just
it'd have been a lot more fun too.
It would have been it would have been a good story. That's for sure, and it would have been fun.
All right, go ahead. Your fifth one. What you got?
All right, so I'm down to 3.
All right,
talk through these a little bit.
All right, let's talk through them.
Actually, I'm down to 2. I like Rutgers plus the 7 at Boston College. I like it a lot. I also like North Texas plus the 11 at SMU a lot. So these are like 2 of my friends here that I'm trying to choose which one I like the most, because I like them both. And now that I think about it, I actually like a couple of those better than the ones I've already picked. But I like North Texas plus the 11. And I really like Rutgers plus the 7. I'm a little scared of it because sometimes Boston College is okay, especially at home. At Chestnut Hill, they're okay there. They'll play a little bit better.
Yeah. And, hey, the coach there, I never can pronounce his name correctly. They're doing a hell of a job at Boston College.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job.
For Boston College.
And I think Schiano's going to make Rutgers a tough out.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going North Texas plus the 11 against SMU.
I agree. Like, I was probably one of the very few people, because that game was on Stadium or whatever it was on. It's on YouTube TV last week, and it got rain delayed, and it didn't start till late. It was in the late window. Dude, North Texas is a good football team.
It's actually at home, by the way. It's in Denton.
It's in Denton.
Another reason.
And the only thing that I looked at that game, the only thing that scared me off of that, as far as my 5 picks, I'll probably do it personally. But I've already got so many damn games I like, I just kind of axed it out. Is they got their teeth kicked in by SMU early in the year last year.
Yeah.
But they've won, I think it's either their 6th or 7th straight. Last week was their 6th or 7th straight league game they've won. So they finished the year strong, and they kind of got and like we talked about.
They were really good at the end of last season.
Seth Luttrell's done a great job there.
He's a rising coach.
And I'm happy for him because he's been there for just a little bit, and it's taken him a while to get it turned around. And he was on the edge of getting fired. Like, if he didn't finish the way he did, he probably would have been fired. And he's the guy that's got it turned around, so I kind of like that pick.
All right, what you got?
All right, you know what time it is, don't you?
Money line.
It's money line pick. It's underdog pick. All right. I like this game for a lot of reasons. And as I had it down on my 6 potential upsets on Monday, and it was just in my 6. But every day that's gone by, and the more and more I've thought about it, and the closer and closer we get to kickoff, I love this game. So I'm taking the Florida Gators.
Oh.
To straight up beat and destroy all the hopes and dreams of all you Utah fans.
Wow.
That all you Cinderella that want Utah to make the playoffs, to beat them in the swamp. 6 o'clock. That's what got me sold on it. I mean, it's everything. It's 6 o'clock. It's prime time.
Yeah.
In the swamp. Billy's first game.
Yeah.
You got a national title contender coming in there. That place is going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not playing in Tucson against Arizona, boss. You're coming in the swamp, and those they don't play in that environment. Okay. They're going to have athletes. I like Billy as a coach, obviously as a person, but like him as a coach. We're going to get all the AR-15s number 1 draft pick stuff started up for Chase on Monday morning on Overreaction Monday, because I know he loves him.
He loves it.
He loves him. But look, I do, man. I think Florida. I'm going. I think they beat them. I do.
All right, my money line pick
plus 118. By the way,
118. Okay, I actually could get more points here.
You can. This is your chance. What
I
you got?
I am going to go with your guy Will Hall and the Golden Eagles of Southern Mississippi. They're plus 3.5 at home versus your other guy, Hugh Freeze and Liberty Flames. Distracted Hugh Freeze. Goodness gracious.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm good.
So I'm going Southern Miss. Southern Miss beats Liberty straight up at home. Will gets it going.
I'm trying to get the money line pulled up for you.
I think it's plus 135.
All right, I'll pull it up in a minute. I was choking there.
All right, while you recover, I will tell you that we are also brought to you by Walk-On Sports Bistro. They put everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine like po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers, fresh salads, all in front of 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. Visit Walk-Ons today in Oxford or Ridgeland. Also, if you're watching the game at home or maybe you're tailgating in the Grove, whatever the case may be, let Walk-Ons take care of all your tailgating needs this season. Inquire today about their family and friends bundles and tailgate platters. Order online or at your convenient Walk-Ons app. And their app is awesome, by the way. The Walk-Ons app is terrific. And if you get it, you get some. You can get points built up. You get a free appetizer, stuff like that. They've got all sorts of deals on the Walk-Ons app. I've got that on my phone. It's a cool thing. So again, Ridgeland or Oxford, if you pass by one of those, stop in. Tell them that you appreciate them sponsoring MPW Digital.
I'll be stopping by there tomorrow. Got a little home game tomorrow night.
Yeah, yeah.
So I dropped the.
Who's Oxford play? South Panola?
No, yeah, South Panola at home. That's exactly who they play. I almost forgot.
You an NBA guy at all? There's a Woj bomb just dropped. They're talking about it in the thread. The Cleveland Cavaliers have acquired Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz in a trade, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Cleveland will send 3 unprotected first-round picks and 2 pick swaps as part of the deal to Utah for Mitchell, sources tell ESPN.
I thought you were about to give me a
Here's the full trade. Utah's trading Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland for Lauri Markkanen, Oshar Agbaji, Colin Sexton. Wow. 3 unprotected first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. That's a hell of a haul for Utah, which is now in full tank mode.
There you go. In that
everybody's tanking, trying to get my boy Victor Wembanyama, who is destined to play for the Thunder. He's just I'm going to will it into existence.
You're plus 143, by the way, on the
plus 143
on the Golden Eagles.
That's the end of the NBA talk. If anybody loses their mind, that's all. That's it.
Oh, you're good.
No more.
Because I have nothing to contribute to it because I'm an NBA idiot.
That's all right.
I'll watch it and I can follow. Like I know who Donovan Mitchell is. I know I watch it. I watch the playoffs.
So the Jazz in one offseason have traded Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. So they're admitting that the era is over and it's time to rebuild. And that's a really good trade for them.
Yeah, I watch the playoffs. That's about it. But no, walk on. So we go every Friday night when on home games. We drop them off.
Yeah.
So we had a great in the chat last week. Had a great recommendation. Whether it was the ribeye po' boy, I had that with the onion rings, the very large draft Miller Lite, and then mom and dad are coming into town this weekend. So hopefully they're not listening on the way. So because if they're listening on the way, then she will kick my ass when I go home. She'll be mad at me for cussing. So she's actually on her way here to hang out for the weekend. So dad's gonna hang out in the man cave.
So far, I think you've done pretty well.
I've done pretty well.
Yeah.
Painkillers are kicking in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you need to tell your mom that if
it's all painkillers.
You're on drugs. You can blame it on the drugs.
Yeah, it's all painkillers. But I feel better. That's the key part. I'm getting old, man. All right, I want to talk about a game that I think I'm betting on. I'll be interested to see what you think about this.
Okay.
And I left it out there because you said you weren't going to do SEC games.
Right.
I was being a team player. I left this game out there.
SEC games.
I know, but I left this as a non-SEC game.
Oh, okay.
And I left it out there for you because I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a team player. I'm going to let Neal get him a free dub on this one.
Oh, did I miss one?
Yeah, I think you missed a free dub.
Okay, fill me in.
Louisville -4.5 against Syracuse, and you got Cunningham coming back for Louisville. I think Louisville's going to be sneaky good, and they're going to be better than Syracuse.
I didn't even think about that game.
They're going to be better than Syracuse.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I like that game a ton. Like I had a very tough time not going with that one. So I left it out there for you because I thought you were going to go. I was like, that's too easy. He'll see that one.
No, I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one. The one that I'm going to regret, I think, is Rutgers Boston. I don't know. I go both ways.
No,
I like
okay
Rutgers plus the 7.
Yeah, the only one you said that I probably won't, that I didn't, I was like, is the Boise State one, Oregon State one.
Yeah.
I think everything else I was pretty much in agreement with. But I love Louisville minus 4.5 there. And then, all right, here's some other ones. I'll let everybody know what I'm betting on.
Okay.
And we can talk about the games too, because we're going to want to talk about them anyway. Overreaction Monday, we will.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned it earlier. I love Mississippi State minus 15.5 against Memphis.
I do too.
Love it. To the point where I just like the other ones so much. I let them in there because I want to get to a good start. But
to the point that when you go place your bet, I might get you to put some on for me.
Yeah. So I think Memphis is going to have a very, very, very difficult time scoring against that defense.
Yeah, and I think State's going to score points.
I think they're going to score.
They're going to score points against average defenses, and I'm probably being sweet to Memphis if I call them average. They're going to light those kind of defenses up, man. Rodgers is a third-year quarterback. He's very familiar with the system. They know what they're doing. Look, good defenses with a bunch of athletic linebackers and stuff, take that stuff away. I get it. It's fine. I'm not saying Mississippi State's world beaters at all. But against teams like this, State could score 40-something points.
I think State scores in the 40s, and I think Memphis is in the teens at best. So either way, I think they cover. I will be personally betting that one. That's easy. And then got another picture for my boys at Georgia State today with all the rain. My man, we didn't talk about it. It was on our upset alert and all that stuff, but I will be personally betting it. The Georgia State.
I like this one too.
Panthers getting
13, right?
12.5 now, starting to move down.
Yeah,
against South Carolina. And I'll say this: look, Sean Elliott doesn't need any juice to be pumped up for this game.
Yeah,
I mean, this is really a big deal for him personally.
Sure.
I mean, he's going back to the place where he was the interim coach, and he loves it there. And he got the award from the governor about the Palmetto Citizen last week. I mean, he is Mr. South Carolina, and he's getting his first shot to go do that. He's going to be to the point to where I wouldn't be just shocked. And one in the next 2 weeks, they have South Carolina on the road, okay, this week, and then they come home and play North Carolina next week. I'm not going to be surprised
if they get one of
the Carolinas. They're going to
get
one of them.
I won't be shocked if they get them both.
Yeah, but
I love them covering the line. And listen, I said this on the Oxford Exxon podcast, so please, those of you who are kind enough to listen to both, forgive me here.
I missed today. Did you talk about this game?
We talked about South Carolina a little bit. I know that I like Shane. I think the job Shane Bamer's doing is great. But I do think they're getting a little too much juice for a bowl win.
Yeah.
It was a cool bowl win against a checked out North Carolina team. And they dumped the mayonnaise on him and stuff, and it was. I know I hate it, but yeah, I know I couldn't do it. But I'm not, and I know Spencer Rattler. I just need to see it. I'm not saying I'm wrong.
No, I like him.
But if you told me that Carolina came out of the gate at 0-3, I'd completely buy.
Who they got? But I'm help
at Arkansas and then Georgia at home.
Oh shit!
I mean, their schedule's rough. I mean, this idea that they're
just the reverse Ole Miss schedule.
Yeah, this deal that they're just going to have this meteoric rise as a program because Spencer Rattler came is just. I'm having a hard time with it. I really am.
Yeah, I will say this. I think they're going. I don't know what their record is going to be. I just like them better than what they were last year because they had a GA playing quarterback, and I love what he's doing there. But that's just. I mean, I like what a lot of people are doing, but that is this week they're playing my boys at Georgia State that are going to come out pissed off, and just I like them, dude. I don't know why. I love the way they play. I love the way they're coached. I love everything about them. On top of that, they're a quick U client. I mean, what are we doing? That's the trifecta, right? I mean, let's go.
That's it.
Let's do it. So I'm a fan of that one.
What else you got?
All right. Go ahead.
Another one that I thought I just saw it on your sheet. Okay. The other one that I really came close to picking today was Purdue getting 2.5 at home against Penn State.
Well, let's talk about the games tonight because I got two I'm going to do tonight, and it's fresh. Tell me what you got, what you like about Purdue game. Where you at?
Well, they're going to be juiced up at home for a home opener. Brahm's going to have a really good plan because when you give him time, he always has a good plan. They're a good offensive team. There's a couple of games that they played last year that stick out in my head. One in particular where they just whipped Iowa, where that offense got rolling. And I'm not sold on Penn State at all. Any. And so, like to the point where it's one of the interesting things about SEC schedule. There's a lot of people circling that Auburn-Penn State game going, that's going to be the beginning of the end for Auburn. And I'm like, I think Auburn's going to win that day and not necessarily mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you told me that Auburn beat Penn State and went 6-6, I'd be like, oh, yeah, cool, I can see it. I think Auburn's going to beat them. I'm just not sold on Penn State at all. There were too many signs last season of decline for Penn State.
Is James Franklin in trouble if he has a bad year at that place in particular?
Probably.
Or is it you think he's in trouble or it just turns the heat up?
Yeah, it turns the heat up.
I don't know what his last contract was.
I don't know. I just wonder if you can – I wonder if Penn State is kind of Nebraska-ish, which is you just can't do it there anymore.
That is a great comparison there. But I can tell you this, look, and I respect the hell out of the guy. I mean, this guy got it done at Vandy.
He did.
You know what I mean?
He did, but he got it done at Vandy at a time that the league was a little funky. Tennessee was bad. Georgia wasn't Georgia yet.
They beat us here.
Ole Miss was in a transition.
Yeah.
Carolina was bad. I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from him. I mean, they covered up some really bad stuff at Vanderbilt. It's hard for me to kind of let that go, but it hasn't. Look, he was at Penn State. He tried desperately to get that USC gig and couldn't get it. So something's up with him. Like,
well, even if he's not in trouble, do you think? Let's say he just has another mediocre year, okay? Because they'll find a way to win 7 or 8, right?
I guess.
They seem to always do. Is he trying to find a way out?
Well, that's been the rumors that he's been trying to find a way out. Like if you told me that Auburn opened up, I would tell you that he would be in search of that job.
They'll probably get it. Who's going to take that job, dude? We talked about it. I'm still pissed off about it.
They're going to pay so much money.
I'm still pissed off about it. I'm not going to get on that.
Hugh Freeze would take that job.
I had a couple phone calls.
I mean, Hugh Freeze would take that job.
Yes, he would. Yeah. But you hire Hugh or do you hire James Franklin? All right, you're the AD at Auburn. You just got hired. Who you got 2 choices. You hiring Hugh or James Franklin?
Who's the AD?
You are.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm trying to do this in a real world.
Well,
because if it's me,
it's not the real world.
Okay.
It's the football gods came down and made you AD. I'm gonna do your.
You know what? I'm gonna surprise you here. I'd have a condition with you.
Can I guess what that condition is?
Sure.
You control his Twitter.
He doesn't have a Twitter.
Okay.
We control it.
Yeah.
All we tweet out is, "Hey, good luck, Coach Pearl, in the big game tonight."
Yeah.
Hey, kudos to the baseball team. You got 2 out of 3 at South Carolina. Way to go, guys. Women's golf won the SEC tournament. Way to go. War Eagle. Every once in a while, it's just War Eagle. If we get a commitment, we might go War Eagle. That's it. No more. Just not.
No Yahtzee.
He can do whatever you want the thing to be. I don't even care if he does the fishing thing. Go out to Lake Martin and catch a bass and do that. I don't care. But we're not searching our name on Twitter and corresponding with people at midnight. Just not doing it.
It's probably not a very popular take around here.
Because I think
he would win there.
Yes, because I was going to say is he's a good coach. He's a very good recruiter. He would be dialed in at Auburn. He'd have resources. He would be dialed in. And when he is that way, and hey, look, people can say, the cheating, whatever. Everybody's cheating now. It's legal. So they'd be able to go get players there. He's a good coach when he's dialed in. The job he did at Ole Miss in 12 and 13 and 14 was
15-2, right?
15-2, but by 15 they were starting to have lapses. My opinion.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't here.
They started early. Great. The job they did in 12 remains one of the greatest the greatest coaching jobs I've ever seen.
I've said it. They should build a damn statue of that 12 team. Jared, if you're still on here, you know what I'm talking about. It was a modern miracle that we won 6 games. It had like 220 yards rushing a game. It was crazy.
So people talk about his burner, but I would like the clause in his contract would be, if I find out you have a burner and we prove it, you're fired.
See, if I was the AD, clause would be you have 2 burner phones.
No, I would tell him. Well, he can have 7.
It doesn't matter.
Hold on. He can have 7 burners. Yeah. They can't be on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
you can't
I'll be on our account.
You can't be on Twitter.
Yeah.
You got all the burners you want.
We're gonna have. Let's go. If I was ever an AD, that would be my mandatory. All right, guys. Here's your school phone, and here are your 6 burner phones. Don't use this one. Just leave the plug up in your office. Y'all go use these.
Yeah,
that would be my.
Or just every so often on this one, order a pizza.
Yeah. Send a text every once in a while when it's legal. All right.
How far down the list? How far down the list do I think Freeze would be?
At Auburn?
Yeah, not far.
Very close to the top.
Very close to the top. Mm-hmm.
Very, very close to the top.
There's 2 or 3 guys maybe in front of him, and I don't know. I think Hugh has a. I think if Hugh has a clean, solid year at Liberty, he can get that job.
I 150% agree with you.
Depends on who the AD is too.
Yeah.
It's got to be an AD who has some familiarity with him.
The key with this whole deal is it's who wants him to have the job, right? That's my list doesn't matter. Your list doesn't matter. It's Jimmy Raines and the boys' list is the one that matters.
And another Jimmy too.
And another Jimmy.
Yeah. If those 2 Jimmys want the same thing, it's going to get done.
It's going to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Jimmy and Jimmy show. How about that? All right, so let's go. How the hell did we get off on that? What game did we?
I have no idea. Keep going. We were talking about Purdue and James Franklin. James Franklin, Hugh Freeze. Yeah.
Painkillers, make it rain Thursday. All right, so I'm betting with you. I like this. This is going to be one of my wagers tonight. I'm going Purdue plus 3.5 to the point where I almost made it my money line.
Oh.
I really like, but it's 3. I love like 3.5 spreads. Like these are my 2 favorite numbers tonight. I'm betting this game, Purdue 3.5. I like the way they finish. I love Brom. I love everything and what they're doing at Purdue. The only thing I don't like is their rivals to my boys at Indiana. So I hope they win every game but one. Look, I like it, man. At home, opening night, I love it.
And kudos to the Big Ten. I said this the other day. I'll say it again. Kudos to the Big Ten for figuring this out and getting big-time matchups on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Where there's nothing to compete against, really. I mean, you're competing against some SEC games and stuff, but the Purdue-Penn State's the highlight game tonight.
Yep.
And then Indiana-Illinois is a big game tomorrow. And if you played it on Saturday, it'd be a dud game. But you played it on Friday, and everybody's like, well, hell, I'll watch this.
Right.
I'm going to. I'm going to light my grill and open up a couple, and I'm going to watch Indiana-Illinois. And if it were on Saturday, I probably wouldn't watch a down of it.
Yeah.
That's smart. Figure out who you are and put your teams in those spots and play games. I'm telling you, the Big Ten, SEC better take some notes. The Big Ten's got this thing figured out from a marketing standpoint. The SEC's going to have to match it. The SEC might have to throw a Friday night game in there here and there sometime.
I always wish they would take like because you got the SEC, you got your own network, SEC network.
Yeah.
Why don't you put kind of like the NFL does on Thursday night? What do?
Take a dog.
They take the 2 worst teams in the league, throw them in a color rush game, and you go play on Thursday night.
Yeah. I mean, put Vanderbilt, South Carolina on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, my other game tonight that I'm loving, and I was joking the other day, I was like, you know what? I should have gone there out of college because that's kind of my people. Have no connection to the place. But I'm taking the West Virginia Mountaineers plus 7.5.
Jumping into the backyard brawl.
I'm all up in it.
Okay.
One of I love.
That game's in Pittsburgh or Morgantown?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
All right. I'm going with JT Daniels and the Fighting Mountaineers and the Neal Browns they're getting 7.5. I like the half points. Very critical right there.
Yeah. It's just Neal talking to the microphone.
Oh, you're good.
No.
I'm loving that game tonight. So I will bet those are the 2 games I'm going to bet tonight. I'm taking Purdue plus 3.5, West Virginia plus 7.5. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
sure.
This is on this game. It's more of a fandom, I guess. Kind of I got a little.
You like the over or the under at 50.5 on that game?
Over.
I think I do too. I think both teams score.
Yeah, I like if I was betting the over. I'm not a big over under guy unless I really feel like I know. If I'm betting overs and unders, are usually the reason.
Another one I kind of like tonight I'm not betting it, but I like it. I don't mind Minnesota minus 36.5 against New Mexico State.
That will probably hit. I can't do it, man. I can't do the big spreads.
I just don't mind that game at all.
Sometimes they're fun when it's like 50-something. You're like, just score once.
I don't hate Oklahoma State minus 21.5.
Who are they playing?
Central Michigan. Yeah, Oklahoma State's going to be good.
Did you pick that game in your Maction?
I did. I picked Oklahoma State. Troy was pissed.
That's good shit. That's it. I told my guys at the office, I said, like, you know what I'm going to do to piss everybody off today? We'll come in here and take Mississippi State as a favorite, and then take Troy in the points against, and just piss everybody off. That would be a great live stream. We go straight to freaking 0 on the stream.
I'm glad you did not do that.
Yeah.
Hey, now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life, but when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help make you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. I've used therapy as a way to handle stress, negative thoughts. My first few years on the Ole Miss beat were not exactly the greatest in the history of the world, and there were some times where I had some real questions about what I had done, and I had some real negative thoughts. And I did, seriously, and struggled with some stuff. I went to therapy, and it was, for me, not just a game changer, it was a life changer. So if you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, it's affordable, it's entirely online. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey. You can switch therapists anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. All right, your brother-in-law was in the news this week.
Yeah, man. I guess I was always like hesitant to talk about him a little bit because he's always got stuff going on behind the scenes, and I guess we can. I asked him very specifically. I said, "Can I talk about this on the podcast?" He's like, "Yeah, you can now." So
Jeff Hoffman, Park Avenue.
That's my brother-in-law. We're close to the same age. I think he's actually he's about 6 months older than me, Jeff. So just remember that you're the old man. So the most interesting man on the planet. He should be on the Dose Key commercial. All right.
Okay.
So Jeff has been a marketing executive forever, and a couple of years ago, he met a guy, Dan Everett, that owns Everett Sports Marketing. It was a boutique sports marketing firm, and he was like, "Hey, I want to try this out." And so he's like, "Okay, see if you can go get you a client." So year one, this is about 2 or 3 years ago now, he goes and gets one running back. Was his only client that year. He goes and gets a guy named Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin.
It's a good move.
Pretty good pick, huh?
Hell of a player.
Second round pick. And so that's his only client year one. And so for those in the stream that don't know, so a marketing agent is not like Jimmy Sexton and CAA, those are contract agents. And so those guys get 3% of your contract. So every December 31st, whatever you made that year in your contracts, you write a check for 3% and you send it to them gross, not after taxes.
Right.
All right. Well, marketing agents get a bigger percentage. All right. So some go, you can go anywhere usually between 13 and 18% depending on the agent. So that's that's on all your endorsements, speaking engagements, things like that. Well, what makes their firm so good is that's all they focus on. They don't deal with the contracts, so they're really good at getting the endorsements, right? So Jeff, his first year, sets the NFL record with Jonathan Taylor on rookie endorsements, and he is a second-round pick. He wasn't even a first-round pick. Well, when that happened, the floodgates open. Here comes everybody.
Of course.
And so in that draft class, I guess that'd be a year ago's draft class. He had Mac Jones, he had Kyle Pitts, he had like 4 first-round guys. Well, when he gets Nick Chubb, sees what he did for Jonathan Taylor. Nick Chubb comes over. And then it's Jeff being Jeff. I love him to death. He goes to the Alabama National Championship game, and he's going to sign Mac Jones after the game. Well, while he's there, this guy named Jalen Hurts walks up to him and just switches over in a conversation. So then he picks up Jalen Hurts while he's there to sign Mac Jones. So he's got, he's starting to get all these players. Well, then last summer we're at the beach and this bad boy called NIL pops up. He's like, "Man, you think I should do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think that's, we were talking about where it's going, all that stuff." He gets on a plane and goes signs JT Daniels and Sam Howell to NIL deals. He makes them a bunch of money in 6 months. And then he starts doing NIL. So we'll tell you all that. I want to give you a little background. So what he started a company called Park Avenue. I've known about it for about a month now, or a month and a half. He's been going. he has signed a contract, and it's going to be the future of NIL, and I think it's an unbelievable idea. So with South Carolina, basically what it is to try to he's going to put 5 employees inside South Carolina's facility. All right, South Carolina pays the fee to him, so it's not per deal. They pay him an upfront fee. He brings the deals to the players at South Carolina. Now, here's where it's an advantage and why every school is going to want to do it, and why it will be a recruiting advantage that everybody has to do. Is an agent, some random agent, instead of getting a deal and taking 18 to 20% off the top, and now giving, so if it's $1 million, hey, here's your $800,000, here's my $200,000. They're going to get the full deal because the school essentially in their deal with Park Avenue is paying for the fees. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so now as a recruiting pitch, now you got your NIL covered with the best NIL company out there. I mean, they're representing
and you're getting all your money.
And you're getting every bit of the deal.
Right.
There's nobody cutting into your deal because technically the school has paid for your fees. And so the article's on ESPN. It was in Sports Illustrated. It's everywhere the last couple of days. But I'm so proud of him, man, and how fast he has risen to the top. He has the Cavender twins. If we got some TikTok fans out there, he represents the Cavender twins.
The basketball players at Miami.
And
they have a massive following.
Yeah, it's like 6 million.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So if you watch TikTok, that's him. He does the girls there. But just a great, phenomenal guy. And I probably should have asked him. I will ask him for Monday's show. He has got a deal done for South Carolina already. And it involves another university and an underwear brand. That's you can probably put the mascot. And there's a marketing ploy that's going to be done there.
Yeah,
that's really, really funny. And I don't know if I can tell that yet or not, but he just told me about it last night. But part of the deal is, just so you understand kind of what they do, is they want to do a deal with maybe Spencer Rattler or whoever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to get their share, but part of that deal is that everybody at the university is getting a cut of that deal. And so you could be the backup long snapper and you're getting something. Does that make sense? Like it's a deal.
Yeah, and this is where I think this is going, and I don't know how long it takes to get there. My guess is not particularly long. I don't know whether they're going to call them employees or contractors or what. I don't know how they're going to get that done, but I think the players are going to unionize. I think they're going to get, especially with the big league, the big conferences, the SEC, the Big 10, probably the Big 12. Whatever happens with the ACC, it's another conversation for another day. But I think the players are going to want a much bigger slice of the TV pie. And I think where there's going to be sort of a compromise probably is I think you're going to see the schools want to have a better handle on NIL.
And that's what this allows.
And this allows that, and it lets everybody get something, and yet it lets the ones who are like, I used Cam Newton as an example with Jay yesterday on G-Pits. When Cam Newton was at Auburn, and every little boy in the stands was wearing a blue number 2 jersey, it wasn't because they all suddenly liked the number 2. It was because of Cam Newton, right? So if whoever's bringing the butts to the seats, whoever's the guy that's making everything go, he's going to make more.
Yep.
Because that's just how it works, right? If you go to an Angels game, Shohei Ohtani's making more than the utility infielder. It's life. I mean, I think you're going to get that, but I think they're going to get more control over it. So I think he's basically a trendsetter here. He's way ahead of the game.
Yeah, and we'll get him on the show sometime. I know we're busy, but we'll get him on the show at some point in time. But it's just the cool thing about it in South Carolina, so they paid, I told you this off the air, He is only at South Carolina for year 1.
Right.
Exclusive. Nobody else can hire them.
So for them, it's a competitive advantage for 1 year.
For 1 year. Now, year 2, they can't do any other SEC schools or any other South Carolina schools.
Right.
AKA Clemson.
Right.
All right. So, but there are, I already know of 2 that are beating down the door for next year already. So the South Carolina deal is a 2-year, $2.2 million deal. Pretty good gig.
That is.
For one school.
Yeah.
And
he's hiring us in 2 years to just come in and just kind of be marketing people.
It's pretty fun though. As I was telling you off the air, it's pretty crazy. 2 years ago, I mean, he was doing something different. I was doing something different, and now he's lead guy in the NIL stuff, and our company's the lead recruiting software out there. And so it's just it's a crazy. He's doing the NIL, I'm doing recruiting. We've taken the business part, and it's pretty funny story.
Well, it is. It also, at the risk of me puffing up your ego here,
no,
it's something you probably tell your kids. I tell my kids all the time. Like my daughter Caroline is the one that I always say this to because she's a go-getter. I mean, she's. I always say she's my favorite little capitalist. Because she doesn't do all this MPW digital stuff for free. I mean, she charges. And
overpriced. She hitting you up?
No,
not overpriced. She's hitting you up.
She's probably market value.
She doesn't have to worry about the negotiation.
She was the other day just debating whether to raise the price of her spray tans. She was and she was evaluating the rest of the market. She's other people have seen her make a fortune doing spray tans, and so they smartly have gotten into the business. And so the competition keeps things honest, right? But you work hard. You work hard, and you're a grinder. And when the thing at Ole Miss didn't work out, you took a couple of days and felt sorry for yourself for a couple of days, and then you said, "Okay, got to go. Got family to feed."
Yep,
it's my story, right? I mean, that day I got fired in Mobile, I thought end of the world, man. I mean, I thought my career's done. I'm finished. I really did. I thought I need to go do something else. I spent a week thinking about what else could I do? This is all I've ever done. What else could I do? And then at some point you go, you know what? I'm going to take that Rivals gig, and maybe I won't stay but 2 years. And and there was just I've built this. I mean, the podcast network was nothing.
Yeah, and
we built it, and now it's like today, which 3:11, and we've got to be off by 4 because the Butcher versus the Spin Instructor is going to be streaming at 4 o'clock, and then Pete's going to be streaming at 5. No, but Pete streams at 4. Campbell and Greg stream at 5:30, and then we'll be back on at 7 tonight. People are like, why are you doing that? I'm like, because, well, A, it's kind of fun, and B, it's money, and I'm making more money than I ever would have made. And you're about to be able to say the same thing. I'm making more money than I ever would have made had I stayed in Mobile.
That's true.
And you're making more money than you ever would have.
Definitely making more money than I did when I was in Mobile. How about that?
And you're making more money than you would have made had you stayed at Ole Miss as the recruiting coordinator. I mean, that's just the reality. And so sometimes the lesson that you teach your kids and people out there is work. Do something you like.
Yep.
Do something you're good at or have a chance to be good at, and work hard.
Yep.
Work hard. Those are life lessons. Yep. And if you're a self-starter, like, we joke about Lee Shervanian.
Right.
Give Lee a ton of credit, right? Because that cat gets up at 4:30 in the morning for the last 30-something years.
And he stays up late as hell, too.
And he grinds.
Yep.
And he did stuff. And, I mean, he made a pretty good career for himself. And so, I don't know. Does it surprise me that your brother-in-law's done that you've done this? No, not really. Not really.
Yeah, well.
Because
thank you.
If you work and you grind and you do stuff, it typically works out.
Yeah, but I'm excited. It's going to be family vacation is always fun. It's just crazy because me and him used to get in some trouble together. So,
all right, you lost a bet last week.
I do.
You need to make a public.
I need to make a
public moment here.
A public moment. So Bob Rucato, our good friend at Monster that got us hooked up with all the rain and everything.
Yep.
He busted my balls the other day because I totally forgot to mention this on Monday. So Bob played at Northwestern.
Okay.
And so him and I made a friendly wager on the Nebraska-Northwestern game.
Yep.
For a case of beer. So I am in debt to Bob for a case of beer. And I stand corrected. His Northwestern Wildcats put it on the Cornhuskers last week, and so I owe Bob a case of beer.
They did. Well, it's man of you to admit it here on the show that you lost. Any of the big rules changes strike you as interesting?
Well, we talked about the transfer portal windows last week. So
what about the stuff on the field about the quarterback having released the ball? Is it kind of the same call? It's the same rules kind of been, right?
Here's my thing: every year there's some kind of there's a rule changes and things like that. They'll put emphasis on a rule. There'll be one bad call. Everybody's gonna get pissed off, and they'll start going back to calling it the way they've always called it. So I don't really put a lot of stock in those things. The defenseless player and all that stuff with the quarterback. I mean, come on, guys. Let's just go ahead and put flags on. Is that what we need to do? We're gonna put flags on. The softness of this country just pisses me off. Rain has kicked in. Now the power. I got the painkillers.
I'm with you. Look, I know you got to protect quarterbacks.
Yeah,
but
man.
But
and I'm an offensive guy.
But making defensive linemen change. Here's what I'm concerned about: a defensive lineman is close to the quarterback. He's accelerated. The ball gets thrown, and now he tries to stop, and he tears his ACL. Now look. Here's the deal. I love penalizing the head-to-head stuff. The guy that lowers the head, we got to get that out of the game because we don't want guys getting we don't want brain injuries. We don't want neck injuries. We want to protect players. But this idea that the quarterback just can't get touched is ridiculous.
All right, so I have a unique opinion on this. So in the NFL, the one that drives me crazy in the NFL is when you hit the guy and your body weight falls on top of you.
Right.
That's
dumb.
I hate that because you got a 350-pound guy running full speed. It's called physics, man. Some of it's not. Now, some of it, if you can see the motion of scooping.
You can see when they pick up and slam, and that's got to be penalized because now you're trying to hurt somebody.
But some of these are just ridiculous.
But if you're running into the quarterback and he falls and you fall on top of him, well, you weren't trying to do that. It just happened, and that doesn't need to be penalized. The thing is, here's the thing that drives me crazy about football, just a little bit. To me, this is simple. This is common sense. You know a penalty when you see the penalty.
Correct.
Call the penalty when you see the penalty. You also know when a guy was not trying to hurt somebody, and you got to let that go. You know when a guy, like, even sometimes there's a head-to-head where a running back lowers his head and that's not a penalty. It just happened.
Yep.
You also
That's where I get frustrated.
You know when a guy launches. You see it.
Yes.
When you watch the replay, you see it. That's my problem. Here's my problem with replay. I like replay. Stop the game.
It's not realistic.
Stop the game. Look at it one time and go, was that intentional? Because you know right away, was that intentional or not? Yes or no? And if there's any doubt, then it wasn't.
Well, you got some replay official up there trying to justify his job, and they slow it down 47 times. But I will say this about
I'm for slowing it down like one time.
Yeah.
Look at it one time and go, was that intentional? And if it is clearly intentional, penalty.
Let me bring
and
you
if it wasn't, go, nope.
Let me tell you a negative about targeting that nobody talks about, and you're going to see it. You'll see it tonight. Here's a negative.
Okay.
Receiver comes across the middle, and he catches the ball, and you're scared. The safeties are scared to death to go high, and so they start going low, and you start hurting knees.
Yeah.
Like, those are dangerous. Like, there's some things about targeting. Now, look, it's legit. I'm launching and head-to-head, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what you're talking about is sometimes they're trying to go for the lower target. I mean, you're giving a safety, this much space to hit somebody in. And I'm an offensive guy now, and I'm saying this. So
you're saying hit them in the torso with your shoulder.
Yeah, and the game moves really fast.
And they're going, and these people are moving.
This isn't slow motion.
And this is where I'm back to, did you try? Was it intentional or not? And I know you can't read minds. I get it. But you can see on the field, especially when you watch a replay one time, oh, he meant to do that. Or that's not what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
So I just think there's a better way to do it.
Yeah, and then in the NFL, the reason that they're so stringent on these quarterback rules in the NFL is because they're superstars. They're protecting their product.
Yeah.
Okay. In college, man, I don't know, man. We have gotten to the point to where, like you said, is it intentional or is it not? Because some of the stuff they need to take that into consideration. They don't because they think it's a black and white.
Was it dirty or not?
Yes.
You can look at it and you can tell when it was dirty.
Yeah, and there's some little things that are dirty now.
Sure, but you understand what I'm talking about. Like the hits to the head and stuff, almost always, you can tell when a player lost his temper and got nasty, and you can tell when that's not what he was meaning to do, or when he was aiming chest high and the receiver dropped his head. Something like that. You're like, okay, but that wasn't sinister. It's a physical game, and accidents are going to happen, and people are going to get hurt. You do want to eliminate as many injuries as you can, especially injuries to the head. And if a player's playing dirty and launching at a player, he's got to go. He's got to go because you got to send a message that, nope, we're not playing. That's how you ruin the game.
100%.
But the game, you can't take the physicality out of the game. It's a physical game. You can take the nasty. When I say nasty, I don't mean the offensive lineman. I mean, you can take the sinister out of the game. You can take the head hunting out of the game. Absolutely. But you got to, it's like my thing about like electric vehicles. Yeah. Do we need to be figuring out a way to switch to electric vehicles down the road? Sure. Do we need to be shutting down our ability to produce our own fuel right now? Of course not. You got to do it's common sense.
Yeah.
So you can go too far. And you got to be careful that you don't go too far and making the game where it's like, that's not the game.
Yeah. I'm over it. Well, like, it is what it is, but we're going to have a great weekend, man. I'm excited to get this thing kicked off.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. What are we, a little over 2.5 hours before Tennessee gets going here? Getting exciting.
I'm ready.
I'm fired up for football. This is the day I've been waiting on. This Thursday, and then you got Saturday, and then next weekend. I'm pumped up about next weekend. The NFL gets going.
Ooh.
I love Sunday at noon.
All right, so Monday, I know we're running out of time, but Monday we have to have a punishment for this thing.
Okay.
All right. So we got to figure this thing out.
All right, so you guys in the thread be thinking about what's the punishment for the loser, and it can't involve.
I'm not eating nasty shit.
Yeah, it can't involve food.
I'm not doing that. I'm not eating bugs and shit.
Yeah. Maybe the loser has to go somewhere super. Do you hate cold?
I hate, yeah.
Okay, maybe it's something along those lines. Got to go to a just ice cold venue in December or something.
Montana
playoff. Like someplace to a playoff game. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe something like that. We'll come up with something like that and probably find a sponsor for something like that to pay for the travel and get some. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Hell, Rain might do it at that point. They might send us up there with some gear.
Bob says he's gonna come. He's gonna come in town and see us and take us to dinner.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, one of these days.
All right. So thanks to everyone in the stream. Always good to see you guys. I'll remind you that we are brought to you. Tyler's got to pick an EPL club if you lose.
I'll just make sure I win.
We've been brought to you by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. I got to be honest now. And I've been honest with you. I've liked, I don't think I'd like Melon Mania because I just don't like melon.
Yeah, that's why I went Red Dragon.
And I like the orange, the
this
sherbet.
Is the Inferno is what jalapeno strawberry was in. Bob wanted me to tell you that.
Okay, well I'm gonna have to order that.
Well, they discontinued it.
Okay,
you only can get that on.
You get it on Amazon.
Yeah, he sent us some. They got some stuff on the way, by the way.
Okay, but this is fantastic. If you like fruit punch,
this is my new favorite.
Yeah, this is the leader in the clubhouse for me.
And it's got the citrulline in it that speeds up your metabolism.
Yeah, mine's just like rolling right now.
I can tell.
All right, so we're going to get out of here at this point.
You want to talk about COVID right now since you're juiced up?
No, I do not.
I'm taking my headphones off.
Don't forget to stay in the stream. We'll be back at 4:00 in the stream. Pete's Pigskin preview. We'll take a look at Ole Miss and Troy, kind of X's and O's strategy. Pete knows coaches on both staffs, so it was a really good interview with him. It's about an hour long. I think you'll enjoy that at 5:30.
Go Trojans.
Stop. At 5:30, we'll have the Butcher versus the spin instructor, Greg Jones, Campbell McCready take their shots at week 1 in the SEC. And then Chase Parham and I will be with you tonight at 7 for hand raise guys. Taylor Zarzer will join in hour number 1. Taylor will be on the call, Ole Miss and Troy on Saturday afternoon. So we'll talk to Taylor about a lot of that stuff, and then we'll take your calls on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline.
Call in, Sean.
After that, hopefully Sean will call. No, I will not refer to Lane as coach at next week's press conference. I just will not do it. His name is Lane. He's not my coach. If he coached me, I would refer to him as Coach Kiffin, but he's not. Stand. This is absolutely like a no-go for me. His name is Lane. He calls me Neal. If he even knows my name, he calls me Neal. He would call me Neal. He would not call me Reporter McCready, and so there's no reason for me to call him Coach Kiffin. He would not go, "Hey, reporter," any more than I would say, "Hey, coach." If we were just having a conversation, he would refer to me as Neal. I would refer to him as Lane, and that would be perfectly fine because we're both grown men. I don't play for him. It's a simple thing. If I talk to Kermit Davis, I don't say, "Hey, Coach Davis." I say, "Hey, Kermit." Why? Because his name's Kermit.
Do you know you're one of the very few people on this planet that actually call me Tyler?
What do most people call you?
Asshole.
I walked into that one. All right. Your loser has to shave his head. That's a safe bet.
I'm in on that one.
Yeah, I'm there anyway. All right, we'll let you go. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. Thanks again to people at Rain, at Walk-Ons, at BetterHelp for making this show possible. We will be back with you on Monday with Overreaction Monday. We'll have games in the books. It's gonna we'll find out who's winning, who's losing in our picks, and we'll go from there. So until next time, for Tyler Siskey, I'm Neal McCready. Take care.